I'm back and I have someone watching me. Can I help you? She's creeping me out. Roxy. Anyway, hi guys. I'm finally back after a very long hiatus. A lot longer than I actually anticipated it being. I started this so long ago that it was still before Halloween. So originally this was supposed to be a Halloween video. We are now in November and I decided I didn't really want to make this a spooky build. I've sort of switched gears, still doing the same sort of concept, but not specifically like spooky themed. So in today's video, I am going to be building a house, but every room is going to be a different TV show. And originally it was going to be spooky TV shows specifically, but now that we're in November, I'm going to just do some of my favorite TV shows. That's the plan for today's video. I want to thank you guys for being so patient with me as I've been gone for weeks now. With that being said, I'm ready to get into today's video. It should be a fun one. It is a fun one. I've already started it, so it's turning out very cool. Before we get into it, if you're not already subscribed, you should, because it's fun over here. Without further ado, let's get into the build. Jumping right into it, I am building on the old Ravenwood estate lot in Ravenwood because I kind of have a plan as to how I want to do this. So I was thinking for the exterior, instead of like spinning for one, I kind of want to do the Salvatore boarding house as my exterior. So this vibe, because that house is so majestic, and The Vampire Diaries is one of my favorite shows of all time. If you haven't seen it, you should. And especially if you like drama, if you like sort of like werewolves, vampires, witches, that whole theme when it comes to movies or TV shows, you would like this. So I might end up doing like the interior parts, like the living room area as well. I have to think on it a little bit. Here is a brief summary of The Vampire Diaries. I know I look different. I forgot to include a summary of the show. Vampire Diaries is a supernatural teen drama series about Elena Gilbert, a high school student in the fictional town of Mystic Falls, Virginia, who falls for a vampire named Stefan Salvatore. Their relationship is complicated by the return of Stefan's older brother, Damon, a more selfish and dangerous vampire who falls for Elena, creating a love triangle. But let's start there. So I think this would be a good lot for it. Okay, I think the roofing is done. First, let's deal with this side because I need some arches. These. So I'm going to use the brick like this here and here. We'll put it all the way across that way. Work has been done. As you can see, I finished up quite a bit of the exterior of my Salvatore boarding house. Here it is. Added the doors, the windows, some vines, and then I also added the pathways. And then we also have the back of the house here. I added a pool. Still work to be done. So I'm going to landscape. Here is the finished exterior. I think I'm done with it anyway. Finished up the backyard as well. I didn't go crazy back here. I did add one of these crypts, and then I did create a cemetery because of one of the very beginning shots in the show is Elena in a cemetery writing in her journal, which is right here. Also, I added a crow as well, because if you remember in the show, when Damon appears in the cemetery, a crow appears as well. So now that the exterior is done and I think it looks really good, let's go inside and get started. I did create a sort of floor plan. We'll see if I keep it this way. This is just going to be our entryway. We're going to lead into this room, which will be our kitchen. This is just another little hallway leading into our living space here. I don't know what this is going to be yet, and I don't know what this is going to be yet. Then you go upstairs. This is one large hallway. I might put like a desk in here. This will have its own theme. So I guess the theme will sort of determine what it's going to be. We're going to have another bathroom here and then 3 pretty decently sized bedrooms, especially this one. Let's get started on this first entryway. So here's my thoughts. I want to do Vampire Diaries for some of the interior. So I'm thinking the entryway, this hallway, and the living room I want to be Vampire Diaries. Here's what I'm thinking for our living space. This sort of look, I love this. I love the vibe of this. There's so many different rooms in this house, and I might do a couple of different things. Maybe in this room, oh, I just had an idea to make this entryway more interesting. What if for the entryway, that's where we sort of do the library look? What if we raise part of this up? Actually, let's just do this right here. We're gonna raise this up, delete the wall, and then we've got like this raised area. We'll add some stairs, maybe on each side. And then for the fencing, what about something like that? And then bookshelves, floor to ceiling bookshelves. So maybe life and death, just covering that window. I like it. I could also add a desk here instead. I do like these ones. They are very nice. Okay, that looks pretty good. And maybe a table here. Here's the finished product for this first room. I also added a drink glass because Damon is a drinker. Added some art to the walls, some lights, some bookshelves. Let's move on to this hallway, which is again probably just going to be the same sort of theme, I guess. We do actually have footage or images of like the hallway. So this is what I'm going to be basing this little hallway on. Since it's here, I'm not going to change themes for this tiny little hallway. It's actually kind of interesting. You know what I'm wondering? If I delete this whole wall, get rid of the arch, and I sunk this down because the living room actually is like sunken. So I'm thinking, what if, because this hallway that I'm seeing does have like fencing on it, and it looks like it's actually upstairs, but that's okay. We're gonna do it like this, and then we'll add fencing. Okay, that actually is kind of cool. So then over on this side, we have this sort of bench seating. Let me see what we have that might work for that. I don't think we have anything exactly like that, but what might be good is this chair from Vampires. Okay, hold on, wait. I don't think these are gonna work, but I'm having a vision because it actually looks like it's two separate chairs. We're gonna do this, which leaves me a little more room to add a table in the middle, or I could do one like this instead. I could add one of these. Okay, and then we add a nice big picture up here. Just one of the more random photos, I guess. Here's what I did. I finished up my little hallway area. I think it looks really nice. Now we're gonna get into the living room. I did a couple like preliminary things just to get a head start, and now we'll start going in with some of those details. So I added stairs and stuff up to the different doors since this is a sunken living room. And then I added a fireplace in this sort of like pop out, because that's kind of what I'm seeing in the pictures. So now I just need couches, and the couches are actually, it looks like there's two different couches. They're not the same. I'm thinking about maybe using this one from base game and other one from base game, this one right here, because I think that could look good. Maybe just something like that. Then we'll do a little stool here. What if we do one of these? Okay, something that I know for sure that I want to add in here is a bar, because if you don't know, Damon does like to drink. Just a small bar, even one like this, one like that, or I have never seen this bar. Okay, maybe I'll use this bar from Vampires that I've literally never even seen before. Let's go ahead and do these tables. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do these ones from Discover University. I think I want to do a bookshelf over here. I kind of like Strangerville. I like the look of this one. Maybe just this brown one from base game. Yes, that's so perfect. At the end of the couches, there are small, like sort of rounded tables, something like these, the end of each couch, something like that, I guess. So I finished up the living room. Here it is. This is my Vampire Diaries living room. I think it looks very good. It looks similar same-ish. It has the same vibe, I guess. I did add a little, this is my blood bag here. I know it's an IV technically, but this is my blood bag. We've got just some more drinks on the table. So now we're going to move on to our kitchen and dining room. Let's spin the wheel. This is the first time I'm showing the wheel. I've seen so many shows and I love so many of them. These are just some that I was like, okay, these might be able to translate nicely into The Sims. So anyway, I'm going to spin the wheel and see what is going to be the theme for our kitchen/dining room. Vikings. That's going to make for a very interesting kitchen, I think. Here is a brief summary of the TV show Vikings that I have watched most of. I don't think I finished it, but I do like the show. It is a historical drama loosely based on the sagas of the legendary Norse hero Ragnar Lothbrok. The show chronicles Ragnar's rise from a farmer to a chieftain, fueled by his desire to sail west and conquer new lands, which bring him into conflict with his local earl. That's a brief synopsis of the show. Let's get some inspiration on what a Viking kitchen dining room might look like. Okay, so Viking kitchens, this is sort of like some inspiration. It's very dark, very woodsy. So for the flooring, I think I want to do a stone. Look at that. Like, that just looks so good. That looks Viking-esque. I'm thinking I put my kitchen appliances on this wall and then I just need countertops and I need them to be like wood, or I do something like horse ranch. You know what? I've changed my mind on this entire situation. I need this to be far more dramatic. I want a fireplace, a pretty big one. So I can either do this one or I can do this one. And then what if we add counters? Hold on. I have an idea, I think. I'm finally starting to get the kitchen making sense. I was really struggling for a second, but we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I cluttered it up a little bit more, added some lanterns. I think it looks decent so far. I definitely need more swords. I have a couple up here, and fur. They are all about the fur. We do have the bow and arrow, which could be Viking-esque. So I added a fireplace over here with a knight. Let's do our dining room table, and then I'm gonna fill in the rest of the space. I just don't know what I want it all to look like yet. Chairs. Do we have any with fur on them? Maybe this one actually might work. That could be good. Okay, this is what I've done so far. We've got our dining table. I added a cute little seating area over here with the bear blanket from Lovestruck. I think it's so cute. And now I'm just sort of adding in more details that might make this look Viking. I want one of those. I know we have like a horn thing. I don't know where it's from. Hold on. The cow plant horn. Like the things that they'll like drink out of or whatever. Oh my gosh, why does it glow? Like some dragon stuff is sort of Viking-esque as well. Like, so I'm thinking about using the dragon lamp from My Wedding Stories. Where exactly am I putting it? Probably in this corner. Maybe some gold bars, because they're always looking to like plunder and steal. So maybe I'll add a spot with like a treasure chest or something like that. Stolen necklace. Let's add a side table somewhere. Maybe on this wall. Maybe we go with that. Add some gold bars on it. This trunk, maybe just over here. Do this chest here. Here's what I've done with the kitchen/dining room so far. I did add some more clutter. I added some of these chalices. I think it's looking pretty good. Does that kind of look like it could be a shield maybe? Let's say that is, okay? That's a shield, you guys. I could maybe do good with some more wood. If I do like wood on the back wall, I could also put some wood here. Do I try to make something like that look good? Maybe I'll do that swatch. I think that's gonna do it for this room. That looks really good. We're almost done with the downstairs. I need to figure out what these rooms are gonna be. I created this seating area for this space that's like kind of outside. And then for this one, since it's still Vampire Diaries theme out here, I just added a casket. Maybe I'll make this is just going to be like a small hall going out to the backyard. So maybe I'll make this whole area one theme. So the bathroom and then this hallway. I still don't know what I'm doing with this. I'll figure that out in a minute. Let me spin the wheel and see what theme we're going to do for these two rooms here. Gilmore Girls. I love that show, but how am I going to make a Gilmore Girls inspired bathroom. A little summary about Gilmore Girls, TV series about a close, fast-talking relationship between a single mother, Lorelai Gilmore, and her teenage daughter, Rory, in the quirky town of Stars Hollow. The show follows their lives, love interests, and careers as Rory attends a prestigious high school. Lorelai works to open her own inn. It's a super cute show. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it. It's adorable. I guess it's just gonna have to be kind of homey, because if you think of like the house aesthetic, it's very just homey. And we also have the grandmother's more fancy house. So maybe we do both. We could either do the bathroom super fancy or this hallway super fancy. I think we'll do the bathroom fancy because I don't really know what to do as far as like a homey bathroom. Let's start with the bathroom. That's kind of fancy. Oh, what if we do flooring like that? I could put a shower in this little crevice here. I can do a built-in shower. So we can do like this nice shower head here. Something like that. Yeah, that's nice. That looks pretty good, I think. For our sink, these ones are giving the right vibe that I'm looking for. I could go with that. And then for our tub, we definitely need a tub. Maybe this one from Life and Death. You know what? That feels perfect. I think this is the layout. I used these base game counters instead, and I think that's gonna work. So let me put like some towels over here, and maybe we'll add 2 of these. We can add some hand towels. Also a fancy robe, of course, on the door. Actually, no, we'll put it on the wall here. Let's use this soap dish here. I'll arrange it. Oh, this is a privacy screen. Cute. Maybe next to the toilet, actually. Or there's these really fancy flowers, which I kind of love. That's so Emily Gilmore. Okay, we're gonna do that. That feels right. Okay, that chandelier looks perfect in there. Yes, that's so perfect. I kind of love it. Okay, let's do Lorelai's space. So a much cozier vibe, and it's gonna be a little messier. Yes, in the coat rack. I'm gonna need more seating, so maybe a cute chair over here, something really cozy looking. Even something like this with like the blanket over it. We'll do a little entryway table here or something. What about this white one? This purse on here. Oh, maybe this one from Cats and Dogs. I do like this one. This rack over to here, maybe. Okay, and then I need some art on the walls. I think they would like this dog calendar. Don't ask me why, I just think they would. Actually, instead of this, what if I do, because right next to the entrance, they have this little desk. It doesn't have a computer on it, but it has their phone. Kind of reminds me of this desk. I guess just that chair, I don't know. Oh, this is cute with like the games and stuff in it. This is looking okay. Maybe this is like one of Rory's old drawings. Okay, here is what I did with the Gilmore Girls hallway. I cluttered it up quite a bit because their house does look pretty cluttered, and I just added lots of cute little knickknacks. We have got board games, different pictures. I did stack up a bunch of books because Rory loves to read. Just some stuff hanging on the wall. It's a hallway, so I can't do too much with it, but I think it's really cute. And of course, with the Emily Gilmore bathroom. With that, I'm going to be moving on to the next room. So let's spin to see which TV show we're gonna get next. Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones. It's such a good show. A brief summary of Game of Thrones if you haven't seen it or heard of it. I don't know how you haven't heard of it at the very least, because this show blew up, and it's a book as well, so a book series as well. So here's the summary. Game of Thrones is a fantasy series about several powerful, noble families vying for control of the Iron Throne in the fictional continent of Westeros. The story is driven by political intrigue, betrayal, and warfare, and an ancient supernatural threat returning in the far north. Very good show. I was one of those people that was against watching Game of Thrones because it became so popular, and when something is overly popular, I tend to steer away from it. That's like my natural inclination. I go against the grain in most circumstances. So I watched this for the first time way after its prime. It was definitely worth the hype. A very good show. I will say that the last season, everyone will agree with me, the last season was not good. They really dropped the ball. But the initial seasons that actually sort of followed the book, super good. I feel like this is such a small room for Game of Thrones, but I feel like I want to do Game of Thrones in a different room. Let's do the hallway Game of Thrones. I'll get back to this small little room. I don't need to do that yet. And I'm thinking of making this like a throne room sitting area. So there's a few different throne rooms that they show, but this is the Iron Throne. Now, the Iron Throne is created with a bunch of melted swords from Dragonfire. So that's what you're seeing here. I don't know how I would be able to recreate this. I could try. I guess let me see what I can come up with here. I don't know if I like this color for it, but when I'm looking at the pictures of the throne room in this particular throne room, it is more of a warmer tone. This is from the Castle Estate kit, this flooring and wallpaper. So I think we're gonna start here. I do need a platform, and this room is such an awkward shape. I think I'm gonna start by just separating that off and raising it up just a couple of ticks. Now I have to figure out what I want to do for the throne. So we do have this throne from Get Famous, and that might be a good start, I guess. We have some sculpture type things that are like pokey or pointy. I'm gonna need to look through debug and live edit really quick and just see if I can find anything that might work for this. I'll be right back. This is what I've created. I went through live edit and debug, and I wasn't really able to find anything that worked. I tried a couple things, they were a go. So I just went ahead and I used this sword item that we have from Get Famous. It's a wall item. So what I did was I just like sized it up different sizes, and I used tool mod to rotate it around the chair. And then I added this chair from Vampires. If you've seen my Wizard of Oz build, you've seen that I've done this trick before. It works so good. I take this chair from Vampires and I size it down depending on the size of the throne. I size it accordingly, but I kind of squeeze it in there, and it allows me to change the color, which is perfect. So I think this looks pretty good. This is still going to be like a hallway, obviously. I'm wondering if I should add a nice chair or bench or something, perhaps this one from Get Together. And then I want to add some curtains over the windows. Okay, wait. That's not a horrible option. That's so nice. These are from Vampires, if you weren't aware. I do want to add some knights over here as well. So these here, and maybe we can stick some here also. This like tapestry thing. You know what? Let's just go with that. Let's go with that one. What are some other elements from Game of Thrones? We have dragons, of course. So I know we have a new kids toy that is a dragon. So maybe we've got some tiny little dragons somewhere. I have to think about where I would put this. Maybe add that there. And then I want that cage item. I used it down here in my kitchen. I want to add this onto the table and put like a baby dragon in here. This is important work that I'm doing right now. And then I want to do the like wicker basket and add some dragon eggs in it. Yeah, these are the playful magic beans. That's perfect. Okay, and maybe I can add another large dragon somewhere. Yeah, there's the dragon. What might be cool is to have this room be sort of this theme with the Iron Throne. And I think that's at King's Landing, if I remember correctly. And then what if I separate this off? I know this is like a really tiny hallway, but what if I separate that off and I sort of base this super small hallway on like Winterfell? So I definitely need to finish this part first though. Here is the final room, and I think it looks really good. I added curtains everywhere. I added a rug, some lighting, and just some finishing touches. I think this room looks great, especially for a hallway. So let's do the Winterfell portion of this. So I do want to add a fireplace because of course Winterfell is like a colder climate. So I'm gonna add the matching fireplace to this wallpaper from Adventure Awaits. This part is gonna look pretty similar to my Vikings room, just because it's gonna have like the fur element, like the warm wood tones, stuff like that. Maybe we'll just do like this color or something. Let's add a hallway table. Why not? Maybe this one from Adventure Awaits. Sword stuff. Put this one on this wall and I'll size it up. And I'm gonna need another banner to represent Winterfell. Maybe that one. There we go. All right, I finished my Winterfell part of the hallway. It's very small, so there was only so much I could do, but I did add a fireplace here. I also added a wolf, because they do get those. I think it's called dire wolves. So I added one there. I added another one over here. That's basically it for my Game of Thrones inspired hallway. I think it looks so good. Let's move on and do this gigantic bedroom right here and get it out of the way. I'm thinking, because this room is so huge, that I separate it off and I do like a built-in office. That's what I'm thinking. Let's start with the bedroom portion. Let's spin and see which show is going to be next. A Stranger Things inspired bedroom, and this is just in time. This is just in time for the newest season that is coming out very soon. Let me tell you a little bit about Stranger Things. Stranger Things is a science fiction series set in the 1980s about a group of friends in the small town of Hawkins, Indiana, who get caught up in a series of supernatural events. After a young boy named Will Byers disappears, his friends, family, and the local police chief discover a government conspiracy and a terrifying alternate dimension called the Upside Down. So again, the aesthetic is the 80s, so we're gonna be taking it back in time, but then there's also like an alternate upside down. Oh, now I have an idea. Now I have an idea for that separate office space. Okay, we're just gonna have to make that work. So now I'm thinking we do this inspired by the normal part of the show, like the 80s inspired, and then the office, the upside down alternate world. It has to be done. So a big part of the show, if you've never seen it, is Will Byers' mom, when he gets lost, when they can't find him, she feels like he's communicating with her through lights. So she puts up a string of holiday lights and writes letters on the wall in order to have him communicate with her that way. So I think I'm going to inspire the bedroom based on the Byer household, just because that's one of the more prominent houses that we see. Let us start with the flooring. We can do hardwood or we can do carpet. I feel like 80s is so carpet, but I don't know for sure if that's what I want to do or not. Something like that. And then I kind of like the platform. I really want to do the letters up here. I have to figure out how in the world I'm going to do that, but we'll get to that. Yeah, I guess let's just keep it with that and see what happens. Let us start with the bed and the letters and that whole thing. I know that it's technically a couch that the letters are above, but I'm gonna do it with the bed. One of my favorites is the one from Cats and Dogs. It just has such like a lovely old vibe to it. Just go with these. And we need some lamps. I think I want to do these lamps potentially, and I'll size them up. How am I going to get the letters on the wall? I feel like I know what lights I want to use. They're the ones from, I think it's Parenthood, and it has a colorful version. It's not exact. I know it's not exact, and you cannot size it up, but it has the colorful lights and 4 letters. I could try these sized down. We only have 2 of them though. I think I'm gonna have to make that work. You know what might also be nice is if I separate this off a little bit and we make this more 80s themed over here. Maybe we add like a vanity right here if I can. Maybe this one. Yeah, we'll just do that chair. And in this corner, I think I'll add a standing mirror. Okay, we can do this. I think I'm gonna add this little table to the end of the bed just so I can get some more clutter items in here. Oh, I also, maybe instead of that, hold on, let me think for a second. Would it be better to have one of these because that's kind of cute actually. Wait, or maybe a standing lamp. We have this base game one. I feel like this is so old school. I'm struggling to determine which couch to use. I'm trying to put a couch here just because I feel like I want to. So I love this couch. It feels right, but it's a little big and the color's kind of off. I also have this one from Cats and Dogs, which is a little smaller. I feel like it matches a little better. Still has that sort of older vibe to it. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with this one. I do love this one, but I just don't know if it works with my color scheme in here. Okay, I added a bunch of different clutter items, some paper, some board games, candles everywhere. And I think that's gonna do it for this portion of the room. Let's go ahead and do the more like 80s inspired part. Maybe do like a wood wall here. Yeah, okay, that kind of works. Ooh, I kind of like this with the stickers on it. This reminds me of, what's the character's name? Is his name Billy? I'm thinking of doing a room inspired by, what's Billy? Like a little more rock and roll. I want a hint of neon. This sort of vibe, okay, is what I'm going for. Maybe in the corner here, we can add like a beanbag chair or something like this one. Do this lamp. Maybe we could do 2 beds in here, actually. This is like a 2-person bedroom or something. Put the fireplace over there. Move the dresser. Let me add another bed because this is like another size room here. I'm thinking the bed from Love Struck. Oh, I could do something like that. Wait, that's actually kind of brilliant. I just took a base game bed with a frame and I put that here, and then I grabbed this bed. This is from Love Struck, and I raised it up a little bit so that it looks like it's on this frame. Maybe one of these table lamps. We'll do a wall mirror, I think. Maybe this broken one. I need some guitars. Put one on top of the dresser. Stick one here by the chair and the fireplace. Oh, I love this poster. These are from Werewolves, and there's 3 different swatches, and I like... Oh, there's more than that. Oh, very nice. I like that one too. This is turning out really fun, and I'm excited. I'm liking it. Kind of digging the boards too. I kind of like the open food stuff. A pile of laundry in the corner or something, or by the bed. I think I am done with this second bedroom within this one Stranger Things bedroom. Lastly, for Stranger Things, we're gonna do the upside down in this portion. So this is the vibe, okay? We've got reds, blues, creepy creatures. It has like weird vine things all over the place. So let me figure that out. Maybe I'll make this a connected bathroom. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, maybe we do Enchanted by Nature sinks just because it looks like there's vines or something growing on it. Could do a tub like this one. I think the details are what's really going to bring this room to life because this room looks a little crazy. It looks a little crazy. Ooh, that's kind of fun. So one of the main things that I really think is going to bring this whole room to life are the vines from Jungle Adventure. Kind of want to put this on the toilet. And then for the crazy looking creatures, I'm thinking of using these items from Strangerville. That looks insane. This is where we're at. I think it's looking interesting, definitely. I think that's gonna do it for my entire Stranger Things rooms here. I think this is a really cool like sort of progression of things. We've got, of course, the buyer room. We've got the Billy, more 80s neon style, and then we have, of course, the upside down. Let's spin the wheel and see what's going to be our next TV show for this next very large bedroom. Ooh, Bridgerton. That's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a fun one. Such a fun aesthetic. Let me tell you a little bit about Bridgerton, the Netflix series, if you haven't seen it. Bridgerton is a show about 8 Bridgerton siblings navigating love and marriage in Regency-era London high society, overseen by the mysterious gossip columnist Lady Whistledown. Each season focuses on the romance of a different sibling, exploring their relationships within the constraints and scandals of the ton. This is the sort of aesthetic that we're going for. Floral, very fancy, very regal. This is like the sitting room. I might do the life and death flooring. It's very nice looking. Okay, I need to figure out the layout in this room. It is kind of huge. So I'm thinking about having a seating area space. So this is going to be like our bedroom sort of space. And then we're going to have like a sitting area over here, I think. Let me pick out a bed. Kind of like that too. That's really pretty. Ooh, that one. Yes. Because I'm thinking of the Bridgerton colors and it looks like their stuff is primarily like a blue. For our side tables, again, I want something very fancy. These are really pretty. This is from the Storybook Nursery Kit. I might like that better. I like that one, I think. Potentially a cute little mirror from Base Game or something. A small desk, maybe one of these. Maybe with that chair from Paranormal. I think I like this one for my sitting area. We'll do these candelabras. What do we think? I like them both, actually. This one definitely replicates the one in the show a bit more. Ooh, that's nice too. I think I'm gonna go with those. I really need to add a piano in here. Probably this one in the blue though. It's the only one that has like a good swatch for this. Yeah, those curtains are very beautiful. I definitely need more flowers. These pretty pink ones I can put right there. Gorge. And I want those little pedestal things. I think I'm gonna put one just in between those windows and I'm gonna add some of these flowers. And then I want those like plate things. I think they're from Parenthood. Yes, these. Add a couple of those. I think I'm gonna add these flowers over here actually. And it would be good for me to add some tea, a tea set, or even some pastries or something like that. So when they have their suitors come over, they can offer them a little treat. This little pastry tray feels perfect. Here is the seating area. I think it looks really good, very regal. And then we have our actual bed portion. I did add a chess table over to this side, and that's gonna do it for my Bridgerton bedroom. Let's spin the wheel and see what we're gonna get for our last bedroom. The Walking Dead. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting one and a very different vibe. Let me tell you a little bit about the show and then we'll get into it. The Walking Dead is a post-apocalyptic series about a group of survivors led by former sheriff's deputy Rick Grimes as they navigate a world overrun by walkers, otherwise known as zombies. The show explores their struggle for survival against the undead and, more significantly, the constant conflict with other human survivors who pose an even greater threat. I mean, the vibe is apocalypse. I kind of like that vibe. And then I would like to cover up these windows. I'm gonna go in with the werewolf like tarps. Now I need to pick a bed. I'm thinking of just doing the one from Eco Lifestyle because it's dirty. We'll do the green one that's like stained. I'm gonna kind of put it off kilter a little bit. Tool mod's gonna come in handy because I want to flip some of this stuff. So I want to grab the dresser from Base Game, I think. Where is it? And I'm gonna rotate this just like that. I do want some bookshelves and I want the ones probably from Werewolves. Yep, we can do this desk made out of a door. And we'll do the werewolves couch. Just kind of random things that I'm going to stick in different places just to make this place look kind of ransacked, like it's been through the apocalypse. We've got a random mailbox here. I don't know, garbage and stuff. I might just add that there. I don't know why it has that around it, but we can add some of this stuff on the table. We have like this espionage stuff. Ooh, some bones. Oh, I should add some skeletons too. Here we have Skelly Sim. We add another Skelly Sim back here. Maybe we can add some of these, like some of this like artwork randomly. Some of this, that's from Werewolves. I kind of like that. I think I'm done with my Walking Dead room. Honestly, this one was kind of easy because I'm really just filling it up with a bunch of junk and making it look sort of abandoned and apocalyptic. I added some skeletons. I put one. This is from Jungle Adventure, and I rotated it with tool mod and made it lay on the bed. I added a couple machetes. I did add a bow and arrow because Daryl, one of the main characters, his main weapon of choice was a crossbow. So I added that there. And I think it looks fun. I think it looks good. And with that, I'm officially done with all of the bedrooms. I have a bathroom left and this room down here, which I still don't know what I'm going to do with. So we'll get back to that. Let's spin for this small bathroom here. Outer Banks. I like the aesthetic, so that should be fun. Let me tell you a little bit about it if you haven't seen it before. So The Outer Banks is a teen drama series about a group of working class teenagers called Pogues in the Outer Banks of North Carolina who hunt for a legendary treasure. While searching for the treasure, which they believe is connected to the disappearance of the group's leader, John B's father, they deal with social divides, forbidden romances, rivalries, and dangerous encounters with wealthy locals known as kooks. And the aesthetics is like the Outer Banks. Think beachy, coastal vibes, kind of coastal, but also kind of like hidden treasure. So I could go the coastal, like fancy vibe, or I could go more so with like John B's sort of house where it's like there's maps everywhere and his dad was looking for the treasure. I'm leaning towards this. What if we do Horse Ranch in this blue color? Maybe we'll add a mirror like this, and then we do like a tub next to it. It's this one from Adventure Awaits. Let's get some towels, maybe these ones. I want to add a treasure chest. Here we go. Let's do this one. And then I still need the gold bars. Let's add the gold bars in a few places. I think I might move the toilet so I can add a table there. I definitely want some stuff from Cats and Dogs because that's the more nautical pack. Add a picture like this. Let's add the paddle boards in here. Captain's wheel. Maybe I'll put that here. Paddler's Pride lamp. Fabulous. I also used the Adventure Awaits rug. Kind of like these items for this theme. Here's what I did for the Outer Banks bathroom. Just a bathroom, but I feel like it makes sense for Outer Banks. We obviously have the money element, we have the boat and the sailing, fishing, and that's it for the entire upstairs. I have one room left. So let me spin the wheel one last time and determine which TV show I'm going to be building for last. Very close to the 100, but it looks like we are doing the infamous Breaking Bad. So that kind of helps me determine what I'm going to do with this room. I suppose I'm going to make this a lab of sorts. Let me tell you a little bit about Breaking Bad if you haven't seen it. Breaking Bad is a crime drama series about a high school chemistry teacher named Walter White who is diagnosed with terminal lung cancer and starts cooking drugs to secure his family's financial future. He partners with a former student, Jesse Pinkman, and their partnership leads them into the dangerous world of drug trafficking. That's the story. And because we're building a lab of sorts, I think I'm gonna do a secret door, like a bookshelf door probably. So that's my secret bookshelf door. So I'm going to pull up a couple of packs. We'll do Get to Work and we'll do Strangerville. This is a hydro mixer. I don't really know what it's for, but I'm adding it. The camper, oh my gosh. Is that kind of funny to add outside here? I know that does not go with the theme of Vampire Diaries, but that's kind of hilarious. Okay, I'm doing it. Here is a table with some beakers on it, some barrels, some more containment barrels. I think I'll add this thing. Okay, I added this shelving unit here as well. I'm gonna add some of these extra beakers and stuff. Editing Ariel here, and I'm just about done wrapping up this video, but I noticed that when I was filming the results of this room, my camera and my audio was not working, so I could see my screen, but nothing else was working. So we're gonna jump right on into the final tour. That might seem odd because I didn't show the room at all, but you guys will see it during the tour. Anyway, just wanted to pop in and say that. Let's get back into the video. Let's get started on this final tour, you guys. First things first, here is the exterior. Again, the exterior is inspired by the TV show The Vampire Diaries, my personal favorite show. This is the Salvatore boarding house. I think it looks very cool. I love the scale of it. I think it's beautiful. Okay, I don't know why that vine's coming through the ground, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Here we have this seating area right here. Over to this side, we just have a coffin. We have our Breaking Bad camper. We have the crypt right there. We just have a nice pool. We have a grill, some tables. And over here is our graveyard, the infamous graveyard. I did add a crow. So here is Elena's journal and her backpack because she goes to the cemetery after school. This first room is also inspired by Vampire Diaries. Think about like the room with all the bookshelves. So we've got a desk right here. We have this elevated area with a wall of bookshelves. Very fancy looking in here. Next up, we just have this hallway leading into the living room. We have a fireplace, and then we've got some chairs and other items over here. And this hallway leads into this very beautiful living room. I think this looks amazing. It looks like the Vampire Diaries to me personally. We've got some beverage glasses. I do have this, it's technically like an IV, but think about it as like a blood bag or something. This is what we have going on this side. Here we have this side. This is where the bar is. And then we've got some really lovely bookshelves. So let's move firstly into this room since it's right here. We just did this one, you guys. This is our Breaking Bad inspired lab. Here we have all of the beakers, a scale. We've got some mysterious liquids. This thing here, I did add some rubber boots. Oh, you know what I meant to add? And I'm gonna add it now while I'm just here. I meant to add a robe, a white robe. So I'm gonna add that right there. Okay. There we go. We've got some more machinery, and that's completely it. Let's go ahead and go into here. All right, this is our Gilmore Girls inspired, I guess kind of mudroom hall sort of thing. This is the Lorelai Gilmore portion of this build. We've got a desk over to the side, this like sort of shoe changing space. You've got a chair with a bunch of books. The idea is for it to just be very homey. But then we also have our Emily Gilmore bathroom. So Emily Gilmore is obviously Lorelai's mom, and here we have a walk-in shower that I put together. We've got our sink over here. We have a beautiful art. We've got a nice tub, and then of course the super fancy toilet from Get Famous. Okay guys, next up is our Vikings inspired kitchen and dining room. I think this room turned out so cool. We have a seating area over here with our bear rug. Typically when you think of Vikings, you think of fur. They usually have a lot of fur on their outfits. You also think of pillaging is the word I'm looking for, I suppose. Over to this side, we've got a fireplace and a knight. And then we get into our kitchen where we have a treasure chest, of course, because they go into these different places and they pillage. Okay. We've got our fridge and stove in this little cutout here, and then the rest of the kitchen over here. And then over here we have our dining space. I also really love this. I love the animal print. I feel like that just makes sense for them. And we just have a bunch of different trinkets and knickknacks that they've probably stole. So, and up the stairs we have our first room, which is just a hallway. And this is our Game of Thrones hallway. You guys, I think this looks amazing. I love this aesthetic so much. We of course have our Iron Throne that I created. I of course have a dragon here with some knights. It looks sort of like King's Landing in my opinion. I think that's where the Iron Throne is, right? Yes, it's in King's Landing. So over to this side, I added, this is such a cute little thing, but I added these dragon eggs and a little caged baby dragon. And then through this this smaller hallway, we have our Winterfell inspired portion of this hallway. So we just have some decor that kind of makes sense for Winterfell. They kind of have like a Viking edge. They're not Vikings, but they have the fur coats, the swords. It looks sort of like the Viking stuff, just with some more blue. Let's just start here with my Outer Banks bathroom. So yes, this is inspired by Outer Banks. As you can see, I added lots of gold bars and money, and as well as a bunch of stuff that might indicate that there is some sort of search happening. Okay, there's some studying going on. We also have our shower here, our sink here, tub, and toilet. I think this room looks really good. This room's a lot of fun. This is my Stranger Things inspired bedroom and bathroom. So this is fun because, as you saw, I kind of did 2 different rooms, which I'm gonna show in a second. But this portion of the room is inspired by the Byers household. So we have our bed here, some clutter and mess. Clearly, Miss Byers is going through a hard time, okay? She's trying to get in touch with her son. I just wanted it to sort of look 80s inspired, a little more retro, and also kind of cluttered. So over here we have a vanity and her dresser. So this is like a more 80s inspired rocker room, I guess. So my inspiration for this was the character Billy. We obviously have our bed here. We obviously have a ton of stuff all over the walls. We've got our dresser over here. We have records everywhere, guitars. I did add some amps over there as well. We have our fireplace with more guitars and a little beanbag chair. I love this room. I think this room is so much fun. Here we have our upside down inspired bathroom. This looks very chaotic. So we obviously have our crazy creature right here. I forget what, is it like the Demogorgon? Is that the name of it? It's been so long, you guys, but there is a new season coming out soon. So we have a tub over there, our sinks on this side, toilet over there, and then this is actually the shower. All right, here is my Bridgerton inspired bedroom. I love this aesthetic so much. I love the regal look of it. I just think it looks so good. So right here we have the bed, we have a dresser over here, we have a little vanity right here, and a chest table. And then down below, we've got a beautiful seating area. I love this look. We have our piano, we have some cross stitching, a tea set, we've got some sweet treats for their guests. I think this looks perfect. And last but certainly not least, we have my Walking Dead bedroom. So this one was interesting because it's just supposed to look run down, abandoned, apocalyptic, okay? So right here we have our dead person, a desk over to the side. I don't even know how to break down what you're seeing here just because there's so much going on. So I'm just gonna simply show you every corner of this room and you can make sense of it. You can make sense of it. I think it looks very good. We've got a couch here, bookshelf. Here we have the dead. Here we have the dead. Here we have the bed with the dead on it. So much stuff, you guys. People have come through this room. They've ransacked it. And I think with that, you guys, that I believe is every single room in this build. Holy cannoli, you guys. I can't even believe how long it has taken me to finish this video. Let me just put this into perspective. I started this video before Halloween, the week of Halloween. It is currently November 12th and I'm just now finishing it. It should not have taken me this long, but like I've said before, you guys, life has been so busy lately and I'm really trying to keep up with my videos and I really want to get more consistent, but things aren't slowing down for me anytime soon. Hopefully they will, but I'm going to do my best. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me and sticking with me. I had a really good time doing this build. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below which room was your favorite and what your favorite TV show is. With that being said, you guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your support. I truly appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my next one. All right. Bye.